I'm presenting this series titled The Quran 101 because I feel that every one of us in America and the world deserves due process. I would not deny anyone that right. And due process is what I'm going to be giving the Islamic faith today. Because they state, and I quote, that they are a religion of peace, tolerance, and love. But the evidence that I'm about to lay out in front of you today will clearly point to the other direction, as Islam being a religion of intolerance, hatred, and war. But don't take my word for it. Let's go straight to the source, straight from the Quran itself. That way there won't be any dispute that what I just share with you in this video is the truth, as written in the Quran itself. So, without any further delay, let's get started with the presenting of the evidence against Islam being a religion of peace, tolerance, and love, shall we? This is from the Quran and Juz 3, Shura 3, and that's Juz 3, Shura 3, passage number 28. Let not the believers, in other words, let not Muslims or people of the Islamic faith take for friends or helpers unbelievers, meaning people who are non-Muslims. Rather, let them take believers, in other words, Muslims or Islamic followers. If any do that, in nothing will there be help from Allah. In other words, if you are a Muslim or part of the Islamic faith and you take a non-Muslim as an employee, a friend, a helper, whether paid or unpaid, then anything that comes against you, you will not receive any help or intervention from Allah, except by way of precaution, that ye may guard yourselves from them. But Allah cautions you to remember Himself, for the final goal is to Allah. So folks, that clearly points that anybody who is of the Islamic Muslim faith isn't supposed to have anybody in their lives who is non-Muslim. Point blank, cut and dry. But it continues, folks, and this goes from Juz 3, Shura 3, verse 85. If anyone desires a religion other than Islam, the submission to Allah, never will it be accepted of him, Allah. And in the hereafter, he will be in the ranks of those who have lost all spiritual good. In other words, you won't be welcomed by Allah in the hereafter, per the Quran itself. But I will continue, folks, and this is from Juz 6, Shura 5, verse 33. The punishment of those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger and strive with might and main for mischief through the land, it is execution or crucifixion or the cutting off of hands and feet from opposite sides, or exile from the land, that is their disgrace in this world, and a heavy punishment in theirs in the hereafter. So if you stand against Islam or if you stand against Muhammad or an imam, you should be executed, you should be crucified, or you should have your hands and feet cut off in this life. And then in the afterlife, you shall receive punishment from Allah Himself. But folks, I will continue to lay out some more evidence here. And this is from Jaz 9, Shirah 8, verse 12. Remember, thy Lord inspired the angels with the message. With you give firmness to the believers. I will instill terror into the hearts of the unbelievers. Smite ye above the necks, and smite all the fingers off of them. In other words, folks, cut their head off of the unbeliever and dismember their hands of their fingers. Does that sound peaceful to you? But I continue. And this comes from Juz 10, Shirah 8, verse 60. That's 60. Against them make ready your strength to the utmost of your power, including steeds of war, to strike terror into the hearts of the enemies of Allah, and your enemies, and others besides whom ye not know, but whom Allah doth know. Whatever ye shall spend in this case of Allah shall be repaid unto you, and ye shall not be treated unjustly. In other words, do whatever you can against the unbelievers. Be ready. Prep yourselves, regardless of the cost, and your investment will be reimbursed unto you. But folks, I continue. Let me go to another verse here, because I don't believe that really pertains to what I'm saying, but it's a little bit misunderstandable. But I'm going to go straight into the source here, into the final passage of what I wanted to share with you. And this comes from Jaz 26, and it's chapter 47, and the verse is 4. Therefore, when you meet the unbeliever in fight, smite at their necks at the length when you have thoroughly subdued them. Bind them. Thereafter is the time for either generosity or ransom, until war lays down its burdens. Thus are ye commanded, but it is had been all or Allah's war or Allah's will. He could certainly have executed retribution from them himself, but he lets you fight in order to test you. Same with others, but those who are slain in the way of Allah, He will never let their deaths be lost. Folks, straight from the Quran. And I can go on and on and on reading this book. But I've clearly planted, or I should say, I clearly presented the evidence straight from the Quran itself. Now, if that doesn't paint a religion of intolerance, hate, and war, then I don't know what more you need to hear to truly understand what this book truly represents. Yes, everyone deserves to be able to defend themselves. So, in that regard, I'm extending the invitation. Tomorrow, on Angry's Corner, if you are part of the Islamic faith and you would like to present your arguments in defense of the Quran, of Islam, it's your chance to do so. I will be posting the link to tomorrow's show along with this video. And I am extending the invitation to you, members of the Islamic faith, to call Angry's Corner and present your argument in defense of Islam. It's time for you to defend the faith that you so eagerly want Christians and Jews and other religions to accept as a religion of peace, tolerance, and love. It's time for you to prove once and for all that Islam truly is a religion of peace, tolerance, and love. Call me tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. Central Time, as I go live on Angry's Corner. To everyone else, God bless you. God bless our troops overseas in harm's way. May God bless my fellow veteran, patriot, and Christian brothers and sisters. And most importantly, may God bless America and the world. Angry Patriot,